Hi there. One of the most common questions that's asked about airbrushing is, what's the difference between a single action airbrush and a double action airbrush? Well, really the basic difference between a single and a double action airbrush has to do with the paint delivery system, how the paint is mixed in the gun and shot out, and how you control it. On a single action airbrush, and I have two airbrushes here, I have two Pache airbrushes. I have a Pache H, which is a single action airbrush. It's an external mix. And I have a Pache Millennium, which is an internal mix double action airbrush. When you use a single action airbrush, the single action airbrush mixes the paint and the air outside of the gun. In other words, I have to push down the trigger and it's a single action. It controls the airflow. I press it down and the air flows, and then the paint I control by turning the tip separately from the trigger. So that's one action, single action. I press down the trigger and I have to manually control the width of the line with the tip by doing it manually. If I use a double action airbrush, the trigger has two actions, so it's a double action. I press down for airflow, and then as I pull the trigger back, the needle inside, there's a needle inside instead of a tip on the end that I adjust. So I press down, and when I pull it back, that releases or mixes the paint and it shoots out of the gun. Now the advantage to a double action air gun is when I press that air down and I start to control the needle inside to mix the paint, the further back I pull that trigger, the wider the line gets. So in other words, two actions on the trigger, airflow and then width of the line as I pull the trigger back. With the single action air gun, I can't do that. I have to press down for air, then control the width of the line by adjusting the tip manually with my other hand. So single action, then double action is press down the trigger and adjust the line width by moving the trigger back and forth. Two actions on the trigger. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer, and we'll see you next time.